Now, obviously, one of the most popular foods to use in your Sumo slicer is cheese, and that's because all of us throughout our lives have always grated cheese at some point, probably using one of these. Now, we've got 3 different blades that come with the Sumo slicer. You have a coarse blade, you have a fine blade, and of course you have a slicing blade. This is perfect for cheese because just like your old box grater, you've got a coarse, you've got a fine, and you've got a slice. So we do all this for you, and I'll show you how easy it is. Now, with some cheeses, they can be very hard, like a Parmesan cheese. It's nicer actually when your cheese is a little bit firmer because it makes the whole grating process a lot easier. Now look at this, I've got the slicing blade in here, so that's the one with the long slices on there. And you notice that when I put it in, I've got it up against the plastic there. Once again, I'm not pushing down on it. I'm just letting the slicing blade do the work for me. Now, it's the weight of the cheese that's pushing it down onto the blade. Can you see how that's coming out? So they're coming out small squares because this was in a, it's almost in a triangle shape. I'm going to turn this around now, and then you can see how you can get slightly larger squares as they start to come out. Can you see how they're falling out now? Notice how they're getting bigger. So it depends on the size or the shape of the cheese that you're using. Now, when you get to the bottom there, remember just to use your safety hat. Don't need to push too hard. Just let the blade do all the work for you. So when you get to the bottom there, you'll notice that some cheese starts to get stuck between the plastic hopper and the blade. That is very normal. There is nothing you can do about that because there's a distance between the two. That will always happen on the last bit that you're grating. Now, the best thing about that is if you take the blade out, you'll notice there that they can just literally fall straight into your bowl. And then all you've got to do is clean that, and then you've got your sliced cheese. Now, I'm switching this out. I'm going to grab another bowl as well. That way you can see how it will now work with a coarse blade. Now, different cheeses, you want different textures and different styles. So Parmesan cheese on a Caesar salad, some people like it shaved. Other people like a really finely chopped or a finely grated cheese to go over their spaghetti sauce. So when I've put in the coarse blade, have a look at the difference on how that comes out. Once again, don't you love just how easy it is? Now, I'm not pushing down hard on it. I'm just letting the cheese, the weight of the cheese do the work, and of course the handle of the Sumo slicer. Can you see how that's coming out? Now, there's a big, in my opinion, there is a big difference between having freshly grated cheese or store-bought cheese that's already grated for you. I don't know what it is. There's something about the taste or the texture that makes it feel so much fresher. So what you've got there, I'll tip that out. There you've got a coarse grated cheese, and then I'm just going to change out this blade and show you what the difference is when we put in the fine blade. So you can just see I'll use exactly the same cheese for this, and depending on what sort of cheese you're using, it's also ideal to make sure that it's not too soft. So either keep it in the fridge or make sure that it isn't too soft, because you'll get a much better result at the end. Now, can you see how that's coming out? You can already see the difference in the size of the grating that's coming through. Now, as a Parmesan cheese, you put this over your pasta, you can see it almost melt straight away, and it looks amazing. Once again, when you get to the bottom, with your safety hat, make sure that you follow the arrows that are on there. Always have the arrow facing away from you, and that'll ensure that the safety hat is at the right angle so that you can actually push everything down onto the blade. Look at that. Look at how fast and easy what that was. And more importantly, just have a look at the difference between those two. You can see that's the coarse there and that's the fine there, and of course they're the slices. Pretty impressive, isn't it?